Good afternoon. My name is Camila Villamor and he is Felipe Araya, and we're going to do our second task, which is a role play regarding the subject of mental health.
Yes, we chose the situation 8, that it was about two teachers that showed different perspective about a certain child that has ADHD. So we have an argument about what to do with him.
So first,
we're going to start with an introduction.
Yes.
Well, the first is the characteristics or situations that affect in a certain way teachers and students' mental health. Especially we are going to focus a little on teenagers, but it's also like in general, okay? So first we start with the stigma that is was about the text, that is from the text Can We Talk? The first text that we used this semester, that it was about how people that have mental illnesses generally don't speak about it because of the stigma. They are generally affected because of what people think about them, or what they think that
about
people
themselves.
Exactly. Especially with teenagers that are really affected by their surroundings. Everything is about how do they see themselves and how do the surroundings or other people see them. So especially for teenagers, this stigma situation is very complicated. But also because a lot of people have mental illnesses and do not seek help. According to a research from the World Health Organization that was done 2 years ago, 80% of people here in Chile have some mental illness, but at the same time 6% are only, they are diagnosed with anxiety or depression. So
or
it means
any concrete mental illness.
Yes, which means that a lot of people here in Chile have a mental illness,
but go undiagnosed.
Exactly, because they fear they fear that they will
be stigmatized,
considered like sick people, and they don't want to talk about it. Especially for teenagers, it's a very complicated situation.
Related to this is anxiety, which is also a very common mental health illness here in Chile, which is a chronic worry, which is different from a common worry that is often common, but in this case it's a chronic worry that affects the person, as I say here, that is something accessible, is uncontrollable, and also there is a number of certain events and or situations that can trigger it. Sometimes it doesn't even have a reason to be triggered, but it just happens to the person, and the person tends to deal with it constantly.
They feel, for example, hopeless for the future. They feel lonely. It affects in many situations. That, as I said, 6% of people here in Chile have a degree that is diagnosed, because there are many more that are not.
There's also the idea of loneliness related to social media, and also to a hopeless future, as my classmate say, that teenagers tend to be very strongly immersed into social media, and they tend to see face-to-face relationships as something not as common as to communicating through the internet or through any other methods.
Social media is especially dangerous. It is especially prone to affect this kind of people because of the connections that people have with others, and this self-image that is going to be affected. So those are some situations that affect.
There's also teachers burnout, which is, well, we took this information from Gorsi, Panguar and Comer test of 2017, which is that teachers with low mental health, or maybe bad mental health, are more prone to have a mental illness than the ones that have access to therapy or psychological services.
Yes, so the thing is that not only teenagers or students or children, but also teachers have a lot of mental illnesses that are not diagnosed or are not considered because they are considered normal. That's a point that we are going to explain more deeper, deeper in the role play. But there are other situations that affect mental health. For example, the lack of support. We use a text from Zacarian, Alvarez Ortiz, and Jaines that is about the circle of interactions. Most of the students, especially, are affected by mental illnesses because they are not supported by the circle of interactions, these surroundings that should be supportive, but generally they are not. It goes from the parents and guardians to the school community, and it goes to certain levels. So if you are not supported in the more centric, that is your parent or guardian, whatever is taking care of you, the rest is not expected that is going to take care of you anyway. So that's another one.
We also have a high rate of suicide here in Chile. Will be by a study done by Silva and other authors, in which they talk about the young Chilean population, in which 14% of young Chileans have had suicidal thoughts.
And it's considered normal. I mean, this study there is a tendency that people talk about, no, the teenagers commit a lot of, they have suicidal tendencies, and it's like normal because of their age, but it's not. And that's something that we have to consider, and we have to, especially as teachers, we have to take care of it because it's not normal. We have to do something against it. But well, all of those are some situations, there are more. But the ones that we chose to do this introduction, but we are going to focus especially on the ADHD. That is something that affects a lot of people here, and that is especially connected to this thing about is it normal. So we're going to do like a role play. There are going to be two teachers. One is
a teacher that is not aware that ADHD can be treated through alternative methods, and they think that the student has the blame. It is to blame about what is happening to them and and how they are behaving into class.
And the other is more. He has done some research, so he knows some stuff about how to treat this child. Okay, so in this case, I'm going to be here.
Yes, and I'm going to be here. So I can't believe this.
What happened?
This student, I hate him. He hates me because he always interrupts my class. He's always talking. He's always yelling. He never lets anybody concentrate in what they are doing.
Which student?
You know Santos from the 9th grade?
Santos. Yeah, he's a little disruptive, but yeah.
Disruptive. He's evil. He's a bad child.
He's not evil. He's a child.
No, he's a bad child. He tends to his stand-ups. He yells. He's very hyperactive. He never stands still. I don't know what to do.
It's not sorry. Hey, it's not just that. I mean, he is a child. He has to sometimes move. It's expected that they move.
Children have to move, but he never stands still. I mean, he's an evil child. He wants to interrupt my class. He doesn't want to learn. I don't know what else to do. I have tried any strategies.
Yeah, I mean, I know him. I have suffered some he's always with the telephone, and sometimes he stands up.
His cell phone. He's always yelling. He has an overuse of technology. He's disruptive. He tends to scream. He tends to speak.
And sometimes the rest of the students are distracted, but maybe he has ADHD, and it's not like
the thing with the distractive thing. No,
it's a mental situation where students cannot. It's not that he doesn't hate you. He just yes, I'm sure. I mean, he's not aware of what he's doing. He cannot concentrate.
So if he has ADHD, that means we can give them some pills for them to calm down, like Ritalin or maybe Adderall or.
Yes, but it's not up to us.
What do you mean it's not up to us? I can talk to his parents and they can give him medication and everything will go straight.
Do you know why maybe he has this ADHD? He has the condition? Because it can be caused by a lot of things. by maybe some difficulties in his birth.
And you saying maybe he was premature or
Yeah,
something like that?
maybe, or there is some research that says that because of pesticides it is caused. But the thing is that maybe we could give them pills, but not us. I mean the institution. Everyone should be like
a psychopedagogist?
Yes, or a psychologist. Well, a neurologist.
Neurologist.
We have to work with them, and maybe we should do it. We should talk to the other teachers because this is. I know that it's a complicated child, but
this is kind of getting out of hand.
Yes, maybe we should do that. But have you considered that maybe it's not only because of him, maybe because of us?
Maybe our classes are not.
Yeah, because it happens the same in my class, and I know that my classes are not that dynamic. Maybe we could do that.
Maybe we can give them some kind of a space, a moment in the class to get up and move.
Exactly. I mean, where you were saying that he's always moving and stuff, that's something that maybe they should do. But I mean, in a controlled way. Maybe have a space or a stage of the class to do that.
Do you
because
think
of him.
Has to do maybe my classroom management is not that good?
Maybe it's not that it's not good, but maybe we're not really focusing on every specific case. And maybe he needs that. Maybe he needs more time.
Or maybe he needs more specific goals to achieve in the class, maybe?
Yes, our instructions are not really clear, and that's something that I have noticed.
Yeah.
And in your case, maybe it happens too, that the instructions are not clear, so he gets distracted and he moves because he's bored, and we have to take care of it. I mean, we are his teachers.
Yeah, so we have to talk to his parents, to the psychopedagogist, and to check our classes and classroom management.
Exactly. That's called the circle of interaction.
The one that has the parents and the school staff and then the teachers.
Yes. Everyone should take care of every child.
So we all have to take care of this child and the way they can learn better.
Exactly. And also talk to his classmates. I mean, they get distracted because of him. But if we explain to them what is happening with him.
Yeah, because I have seen that some of his classmates tend to be kind of rude to them, to him. Sometimes
because they don't understand.
They don't understand it.
So the first thing, we have to talk with the psychologist of the school. That's why we have one. So let's go with that. Okay. So that's the role play. Now, as a conclusion, first, what we were saying, the circle of interaction, that not only us have to do something because of, for him, also the parents and or guardians that he may have. There are some texts that we got from the chat site that is about
ADHD and how children can develop normally with that.
Some instructions that may be clear.
Making sure that assignments are clear, as we say on the role play, instructions, assignments, what is going to be assessed, what they need to do.
Exactly. Parents present objectives in many ways. I mean, our children, it's not that they are, for example, kinesthetic learning and stuff, but they learn in some ways differently.
Sometimes they are different.
And if we do the class more like dynamic, that's a way for everyone to feel involved and to learn better.
And the objectives are not only presented in one way, this is the goal for the class, but they need to know that this is the goal, I don't know, in speaking, in learning.
And the last one is, for example, to use
timer and attention grabbers also.
That are especially for students with ADHD that have to be very.
They need to be grabbed into the class to get concentrated in what they need to.
Yes, and the use of a timer is because of to set time, but for everyone to be doing something very specific in any stage of the class in order to not get distracted by something, in this case it's a child. Showing students that the teacher cares. That's something that, we have seen in our e-labs.
That sometimes teachers do not care about the students or they see them as burden.
As the situation with the teachers that Camila was presenting.
We also have that teachers need to work closely with the specialists, with people who can diagnose students or tell them if there's anything else that they need to look into about this student, not just assume that every student has ADHD.
Propose different types of therapy, but that's something
that is
not necessarily up to us. I mean, we can do like...
We can suggest that they need to see another kind of therapy that is not only pills for students, but that's something that parents should see mostly.
Yes, and we have to talk with the specialists. Every school supposedly have at least a psychopedagogist or psychologist or someone that is in charge of it.
Yeah, so we need to work together with them for the student to have a clear diagnosis and to know what to do with this student that doesn't hinder their development as a person and as a student.
And as the last characteristic
is that
what the teacher that Camila was representing, that saying that he is a bad child,
that he is problematic and he's doing this on purpose.
No, it's never their fault. When they have ADHD, it's something
they cannot control.
Yeah. So first to diagnose if there is a condition of ADHD,
to
and
work
then
with specialists, and then to see what we can do about them.
Yes.
But we should never make the children feel like it's their fault for having a mental illness, because
as we were checking at the beginning, a lot of people have mental illness.
So we don't want to keep up the stigma of having a mental illness into students.
So the references we use this text helping a student with ADHD. That is the one that we use for most of the stage of ADHD.
We also have the Can We Talk text, in which we talk about mental health lesson plans, about how to plan a lesson for children who have ADHD or problems with attention.
There are a lot of texts about from chat, as we were saying, that we got some tips from it. This case is
Goodwin.
Yes, it's Goodwin. It's like another solution that we took. For example, the example of timers. We got it from there. Yes.
We also have mental health among government school teachers, which is the text by Gorsi, Pangwar and Kumar, which talks about teacher burnout.
Yes.
And how this is also a mental health problem that not only affects students but also teachers.
Are you worried and generally anxious from Mary Herring? That is, well, specifically about anxiety. That is a topic that...
Anxiety and differentiating anxiety from worry.
Exactly. MERS, this case is some solutions also that we can take, like for example, what as a teacher we should do.
Or which students do we have to target into giving help.
And World Health Organization, this text is the one that we got the statistics from. About
depression, about anxiety and suicide rates.
Exactly. And finally, this text teaching to strengths what you have to do from Zaccaria and Alvarez Ortiz and Hines that I mentioned already.
What we have to do with students that are living with trauma and how we can help them to overcome or to cope with their problems.
So that would be our presentation.
Thank you very much.